Welcome, everybody, back to another Boldcast Reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Naruto Shippuden episode 370. What happened last time?
Last time, more of the backstory between Hashirama and Madara. We saw Madara lurking around, and then he invited Hashirama down and basically told him, oh yeah, this is what this ancient tablet says, and I'm interpreting it differently, and I'm leaving. And then we saw sort of more of the fight with the Nine Tails, and it was like pretty epic. Hashirama came in and
he used an even larger form, his veritable 1,000 or 100 arms or 1,000 arms cannon thing.
Mm-hmm. And then the front broke off, and then his like little guy on the top with the
wood golem,
and the dragon as well. So it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And now we're going to see if there's anything more to be told in this story, or what Sasuke is going to say about it, etc., etc. Hope you guys leave a like and subscribe. Check out Patreon if you like the Naruto reactions, if you want to support us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, you can get a week ahead over there. So check that out, and a bunch of exclusive stuff. But let's go.
Pretty rough shape.
Oh, he's like burned from the fire style, probably. So his Sharingan's not even on.
Mm-hmm. Won't reach the other side.
Jumping across.
This is the final blow.
I am still standing. It is the opposite of last time.
I just want to protect the dream. That I realized we have fought enough.
You look pretty depressed right now, Hashirama.
Hashirama.
Just perk back up this time, eh?
It's impossible to show what's inside us to each other. First step is to not give up on our ideal.
It's not possible if you
have
have a sword. You can do it that way.
Settlement right here.
It's often been said that whenever there's a will, there's a way, and yet
That dream's now becoming reality.
He didn't have a Sharingan on.
a wood-style clone.
Wow. And he said you can never like sneak up behind me or whatever.
We'll protect my village. Whatever it takes. I still believe that protecting the village will in turn lead to the protection of all the people, shinobi and children. Won't forgive anyone who would dare to threaten the village, be they friend, sibling, or even my own child.
Wow.
You have changed, Hashirama.
I made a resolution that day that I would endure in order to watch over the present.
You have got your priorities backwards. It will someday lead the village to darkness.
Backwards. I mean, he was right. Right and wrong at the same time.
Whoa.
Thus, my battle with Madara came to an end.
It's a cool
I
shot.
don't have any idea how Madara returned to life now, but I know I definitely killed my friend. For the sake of the village.
No.
That's right.
So close.
The village is something that joined one clan to another. It was an invaluable cornerstone that created order out of chaos and then maintained it. However, it gave rise to darkness, the kind your brother Itachi was forced to bear. That's what Madara said was correct after all. Maybe he foresaw this state of affairs. Still, I am the shinobi who created these circumstances. What's more, I considered them acceptable, and I believe that shinobi are those who endure for a purpose. But depending on what that purpose is, a shinobi can change, as both Madara and I did.
So shinobi are defined as those who endure.
About this plan of Madara's. To erase all the shinobi in the world. I don't know what that means in literal terms.
The infinite Tsukuyomi, where village shinobi, everything is irrelevant. He'll put everyone under genjutsu and manipulate them as he sees fit. To negate it all. To nullify everything my older brother, Madara's little brother, and all of you have striven to protect. My brother inherited your will without you ever having exchanged words with him.
He kind of looks like him in a weird way.
Father, Mother, I just...
We already know, Itachi.
Itachi, just promise me this.
This part's like really sad. They just like actually talked. First, he didn't just like, you know.
Kill them in their sleep.
Yeah.
I will.
I would have made it like 100 times harder.
What do you mean harder?
Just like for like to have to talk to them and then
Our philosophies may
you know
differ.
hear that they're like weirdly proud of you even though you're standing over them.
You are truly
know.
a kind child.
You should
Remember
mark
this
his entry in your bingo book and remove
Fucking
him.
Toby with his super bright and
Obvious
recognizable.
mask.
He's probably that mask is probably in this exact book on like the next
surprised.
page.
Who was able to kill someone that powerful? And even in death.
I'm Itachi Uchiha of the Leaf once again.
I'm so glad that
My
they got to
brother endured
like
longer and
meet up.
harder than you.
Originally I didn't want it, but it was
When he
really
died,
good.
he still said that he was proud to be a Leaf Shinobi. Ironic, the one who understood you the most was a shinobi from the Uchiha clan.
Your brother wasn't the only one. One of my subordinates was Kagami Uchiha, a man a lot like your brother.
Second Hokage, I thought that you hated the Uchiha.
That's not the whole truth. Whatever clan they belong
Classic
to,
racist.
if someone posed a danger to the village,
I'm
I
not a
viewed them with
racist,
extreme
but-
caution. The Uchiha happened to be a clan disposed to be considered warily. But because they could feel deep love, there have been several Uchiha, like your brother and Kagami, who could transcend the boundaries of the clan and devote themselves to the village. My elder brother thought that the village was something that could eliminate the framework of clans. The reality of it is that it wasn't so simple. Elder brother's naivete and the potential risk that Madara posed. It was my role as second Hokage to mediate between the two of them, to protect the village and to fortify it.
Shisui Uchiha was a descendant of Kagami Uchiha. And he was a friend of your older brother, Itachi. There have been many, including myself, who inherited Lord First's will of fire. But perhaps I was the most naive shinobi of them all.
I would say
couldn't
so.
maintain Lord
I would
Second's
agree
village
with
building
that.
skillfully enough. How I ended up burdening Danzo with the village's darkness.
And I killed Danzo out of revenge. To the end, he professed that he would protect the village, no matter what dirty means were required.
It seems that I failed miserably time and time again as the Hokage. Even the things that led to the current circumstances are in part my responsibility.
No, it's not your fault, Lord Third. You devoted yourself to the village completely.
Just a little
and
bit your fault.
respectably.
Just a
However, I
tiny
would
bit.
die
Well, not his
during the
fault,
Ninetales attack.
but he had more opportunity than
Such
anyone
high
else
hopes
to
for this
prevent
Hokage.
Yeah.
all of this shit. Not all of it, but
Yet I couldn't
you know,
live up to
Sasuke
that.
and everything.
Orochimaru.
I was
Orochimaru.
skipped over in favor of you. We were all so disappointed.
You sound like you're pouting.
A bit, since the third Hokage is here. If I hadn't died, perhaps I could have helped to foil the Uchiha's plans for a coup d'etat a whole lot earlier. Now then, Sasuke, what next? Will you crush the village? Or...
Burn it down. Will you crush the village or burn it down?
Sorry
What do you
about
think
that,
he's gonna
Sasuke,
choose?
But we'll do it some other time. Sorry, Sasuke.
I don't know. I don't think he's just gonna go out there and just destroy. I genuinely, I don't see that
Well, with
happening.
Konohamaru there, he can't. He
It's
stand no
impossible.
chance.
With us, it's different. I'm always going to be there.
So I guess I think he's
Even
not
if it's
going
only as an
to.
obstacle for you to overcome.
It's just as you said, brother. I fostered my hatred for you all this time to see you die. It ends here.
You don't interest me at the moment.
I think
You're
even
still
in part 1 when they showed that scene for the first time, I think there was one shot where Itachi was like, he was drawn with just like a twinge or like a little, like his eyebrow was slightly more raised or some little thing that showed like, just tipped the hand a little bit that he was like
Sad.
sympathetic.
Yeah.
always loved.
I remember like noticing that when we were watching.
If I had only come to you from the start, looked straight into your eyes and told you the truth, then I wouldn't have to stand before you as a failure, telling you all of this. I want to impart at least this much truth to you. You don't ever have to forgive me. And whatever you do from here on out, know this. No matter what, I will love you always.
I'm going to head to the battlefield. I won't let the village and Itachi become nothing.
It's decided. Tobirama, fly us outside.
I'm bound right now.
Orochimaru, was it? What will you do now?
I believe you said earlier you'd stay with Sasuke, didn't you?
Of course. We shall accompany him.
I'll go with them too. After all, it's my duty to protect Sasuke.
Why is he acting all afraid? He like was holding his own against the 8 tails.
If I tag along, I'm gonna die for sure. I'm making a break for it when I get the chance.
This view
If you were just a
sure
dude,
brings
would
back
you want to go
memories.
show up against?
I love how first Hokage is like, this brings back memories. Except it looks completely different. What's going on here?
This view, it's
Not
nothing like I
familiar at all.
remember. Like
Yeah.
what happened? It's for
Master, you think an apology will get you off the hook for what you did to me? Good for nothing.
I see you still have a weakness for Sasuke.
Just listen, Lord Orochimaru.
why she's not even surprised that Orochimaru's back. She's just like, yeah, Orochimaru. Who? Wait a second. Were you dead?
Yeah.
You can come help us too.
What?
Who's she? From the chakra and the red hair. She's of the Uzumaki clan.
4 mighty zombies, 3 monsters, and now an idiot? Bet Madara will be shocked too.
Orochimaru, why have you decided to cooperate with
Good
Sasuke
question.
now?
After spending time inside Kabuto, I have come to realize something. He copied me, tried to possess everything, and failed. Now I'm curious about the different paths Sasuke has chosen. That boy, unlike Kabuto, didn't try to copy me.
My fellow Hokage, from atop these great
He's just
stones,
smiling.
watching over the lead, let's burn this view of the village into our eyes.
I'll finally meet my son, Naruto. I'll make up for not being there for you as your father by bringing you a huge present now.
Now then, it's been a while since my last war. I must focus and brace for battle.
Madara, we will defeat you.
It's foolish, I know, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing
He's
a
like all
familiar
excited.
old friend.
Seeing his old
Just
friend.
Wait, Madara. There's always conflict, no matter what the era. But this shall be the end of war. Let's go!
Oh, on top. That's cool. Nice, nice.
That's sick. What'd you think of that episode?
I'm so happy that Sasuke didn't just for absolutely no reason be like, I'm gonna destroy everything. I'm just happy to see this growth. And like it was a long time coming, but we've like finally gotten to it, and they like actually they set it up so it didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We had everything with Itachi where he was still like really against it, but then just seeing how absolutely dedicated Itachi was, just like, and he like thought about it and then was like, okay, maybe like that's not enough, but it's enough to make me consider it. And then just like seeing all of this and like getting it from the first Hokage, who is like, you can just tell by just like what, like everything about him and his whole story and just how he like interacted with Sasuke from the beginning. He's like, you can tell, like if Sasuke is listening to him, he can tell that it's real and can like, you know, can like see a very clear picture. And yeah, it was good. And I still don't know why Orochimaru's there, but everyone else, they're heading off to the battle, and that's exciting. And Suigetsu gets beat up by Karin. I kind of forgot she existed.
Last time we saw her, she had that picture of Sasuke in her cell, and she had lockpicks and shit.
Yeah, that was a nice way to bring her back.
Yeah.
Like a little bit
Good
of a
timing.
comedic element with Suigetsu, who's kind of just been like...
Like I said, though, he did get fucked up by the Eight Tails once, like, the Eight Tails really, like, started using tail beast bombs and shit. But Suigetsu isn't a fucking slouch. Like, he's pretty strong.
I guess, but when you think about, like, Suigetsu, in terms of, like, everyone else that's involved in this battle, it's, like, it's pretty close to the bottom.
That's not true. He's as strong as fucking Kiba. He's as strong as all those
I
other
know,
people.
but all those guys are already on the bottom. Like,
Yeah.
an average ninja is already on the bottom. Like, Kakashi and Guy are, like, a little bit above that, and then fucking Madara
Kakashi and Guy were soloing the fucking Obito and the Ten Tails.
I know, but even still, it's like, when you think about, like, Madara is just, like, you can't kill, like, I don't know, and Suigetsu has no stakes in it.
That's also
He has
true.
0 stake in it, so literally why? Like, the only reason he was hanging out with Sasuke was for his own shit. And this has nothing to do with that. Yeah. He's just along for the ride. So I like it. It's funny.
We shall see what happens next episode. Leave a like unless there's anything more.
I'm just like, I hope they like roll up and they get to see Naruto. Like, everyone's just like being awesome. I love that the third Hokage just like being accountable and realizing that he should have done a lot more.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he's like, he definitely was a very disappointing Hokage. But yeah, it was just, it's not that it's very much is necessarily his fault, or Orochimaru's fault, but as far as like the greater threats that are happening, it's not his fault, but he was Hokage for a long time, and he was present for a lot of shit. He could have taken the reins a lot more. He could have been a lot more active in the community and everything, and like, you know, paid more attention to Naruto, like, literally
paid more attention to literal orphans who could grow up to murder your entire village.
Yeah, like Sasuke standing there
and just like be more proactive. Like, it was clear he was like, he literally, the only reason Danzo, and he kind of said it, the only reason Danzo had to do so much like bad shit was just because he wasn't taking accountability and dealing with it from the get-go. He was letting it go too far, and then Danzo is like cleaning up after him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like Danzo, it's like, I still think Danzo was like a piece of shit a lot of times, but it's, you know, when you it's like, okay, well, the person who he was working with wasn't doing anything, and if he has one job and it's to keep the village safe at any cost possible, then it's like, okay, I guess that's how he got to that conclusion of just killing them all, because the main dude in charge, like, just was choosing to sweep it under the rug and ignore it.
It's like they're all in a group project at school, and Danzo's doing all the work, and then fucking, the third Hokage is just the presenter.
Yeah, yeah. It was just a lot of inaction on his part. A lot of seeing bad things, like seeing, okay, my student Orochimaru, like, creepily obsessed with snakes, kind of looks like a snake, into weird experimentation, like, probably a serial killer at this point. We'll just ignore that because he's my student. and then, oh, actually, wait a second, he's, like, super evil and plotting to destroy the village. It's like, you could have seen that one coming, and actually you did see that one coming.
Yeah, he ignored it.
And you just ignored it, so it's...
So if he did that with that situation, imagine
it's
he
like
did something with
every
less
single
personal.
aspect of the village.
Yeah.
I know it's not just about that, but it's just interesting to see. First Hokage was like so, like the essence of the will of fire, of like protecting the village, but like trying to do it in the most positive way as possible. Then second Hokage comes in and did what he felt he had to do. And also, when you think about it, it was like you said before, it was like super crazy during that time, and there was like a lot of threats to the village. So he was trying to, you know, just get everything in place in his village so that he could deal with all this external conflict that was going on.
Yeah, he was not only dealing with like the unrest of the Uchiha beginning, but also trying to streamline the village for being a military operation. That's the thing. Like he was fighting probably the most serious war other than the one we're fighting right now. And, you know, he was responsible for all that shit. He literally had to lay his life on the line for it. And he didn't have time to like, you know, like the third Hokage, walk around writing poetry and reciting it to elementary schoolers, probably. He was a all business Hokage who...
Was he also the Hokage for the shortest amount of time?
I think so.
I just was wondering because, like...
I think so. It's hard to say because they also retconned the original time. That when the third Hokage's death, we saw his flashback, and it was when the third Hokage was like a 12-year-old that they were like, the first and second Hokage were like, Saru, today we name you Hokage, and it's both of them, the wind flashing, and Sarutobi's literally 12 years old, like Naruto's age, and it might come down to I don't know. I think he was the for the least amount of time.
I was just wondering because it seems like he was just kind of in and out, like the first Hokage built the entire village and then was there for like a while, and then the second Hokage took over, and then obviously the third Hokage was Hokage for a long ass time on both sides.
I try not to think too much about the timeline because
I guess I was just thinking of like what they all did during their time and like what they were focusing on during that time. It like I don't know. I was just exploring that and talking about that because it's and then also it's like hard to know like what would have happened either way with like if the fourth, like if Naruto's dad didn't die, like, you know, would he have handled the Uchiha situation better? Who's to say, because the third Hokage did like literally leave and then come back and then is just like fucking old.
It's hard to say what the fourth Hokage would have done
because we don't know. Like he
never got the chance to be a Hokage. He fought in the war. He earned the title of Hokage. He ruled for just a little bit, but then he just died. He died way before his time, so he was never faced with the same decisions that.
Although he did make like some pretty ultimate sacrifices for the sake of the village.
He did
in the long run.
Yeah. Well, in the same way, so did third Hokage. Not counting that Orochimaru did eventually have a change of heart, but in that time he was facing a threat that would have destroyed the village, and he sacrificed himself as well.
Mm-hmm. But that was like a problem that he let slide, and then it got to that point. Fake like Obito coming up and like killing everyone.
Obito was also his student.
I guess that is true that it was his student. Good point.
But it's not.
But it was not quite the same thing because he thought he was dead.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, interesting. I'm excited to see when they show up on the battlefield. Sasuke just sees Naruto like completely overpowered, literally a giant fox flying around. Gets mad again.
I don't think he'd be too surprised because he's also a giant samurai armored golem.
That's also true. That's also true. I kind of forget that
who can control unextinguishable black flames better than any previous Uchiha.
That's true. It's easy to forget. But yeah, he is yeah, it's a similar thing, yeah.
Sasuke's no slouch. And yeah, and Eternal.
I wonder what's gonna happen if he's just gonna like jump in right away, or if he's gonna like check it. Like I'm interested to see like if they're gonna arrive like right when we last saw, or if there's gonna have been like some time passed, so then like something crazy shit's gonna happen and they're gonna show up like just too late or like just on time. Yeah, I'm interested to see, and we hope you are too. Please please leave a like on this video. Please subscribe. You can check out our Patreon if you just can't wait. You can get a week ahead on there and Uncuts. Thanks for watching. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
Bye-bye.